How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Onewheel podcast. Super excited about this episode. I have Jahfari Silsley out of the big island of Hawaii, and he is taking the Onewheel Racing circuit by storm. The 14-year-old that is giving everybody a good run for their money. We chat about Onewheel racing, the future of Onewheel, and also just what it was like growing up on an island and getting to ride with all of the dopest shredders in the Onewheel community. I hope you enjoy this one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and as always, thanks for watching. Dope. And then
clear my throat.
Yeah, clear your throat. Don't worry about the cameras. Unless you feel like you want to address people.
Okay.
Then I'm like, I'll talk to the camera, but then we just talk to each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you for stopping by, making your way through Northern California.
Yep. Definitely stoked to be here.
Yeah, last time you were here, we went for a nice little ride on the bluffs.
Yeah, that was pretty chill, yeah.
Y'all brought me some macadamia nuts.
Yeah, that was sweet, yeah.
I tried not to eat those in one session. So first off, I just want to congratulate you on not only the success you've been having this season, but like you've really exploded in your riding and everything you've been doing on Onewheel. How's it feel so far to, finally get in the races on the big leagues?
Definitely very excited to be racing against those people I've been watching for a long time now. For the past 2 years, like Tahoe Dave, like that was like one of my big guys, like looking up to him, and now racing him is just like very exciting. Yeah, like whole different picture of like what I was doing last year. Yeah, like those people are on my same level now, and I'm just striving to be like better than them instead of being just like them now. So it's definitely a different game for me.
Yeah, it's got to be amazing to be just riding toe to toe, especially with somebody like Tahoe Dave. I watched the head-to-head battle that y'all had on his GoPro on YouTube, and
that was sweet.
That gave me chills just because it's so cool to see Tahoe Dave and then you as like the new generation going head to head, and then like him kind of like succeeding, be like, take it, man.
Yep, like that whole bridge fight was it. Like that was mainly the whole race, really, because I saw that he was trying to take that inner line on me, and I was like, man, if he gets that, I'm gonna have to do that same like weird pass again that I had to do on Jeff Adair, and that was very complicated. So like if I got him before the bridge, I knew I would be okay for the rest of the race. So yeah, that was very intense though. Yeah, that race was awesome.
What's it feel like when you're racing with those guys and like they're literally like twice, maybe even 3 times your age, and they're bigger, they've been around? Like, do you not even think about that? You're just like, you got your own mindset going into it?
I mean, like with the bigger people, like with Kyle and stuff, like honestly, I can see if I am in front of them. If I get the whole shot and I'm racing them, I don't really have to worry about them. But if they're in front of me, it's going to be very hard to pass them and stuff. So coming into it, when I was going to verse those bigger people, I was thinking like, if they're going to fall or something in front of me, or if they're going to bump into me, like Brandon Peavy did, like I fall off my board like very quick. So that's like when I'm thinking about riding with bigger people. Yeah, I'm worrying about stuff like that more, but no, not really like worrying about other stuff like their speed or how big they are and their age and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're just focused on your race.
Yeah.
Do you have like a pre-race ritual, kind of like getting in your mindset? I know like you think of the Silvas, at least they used to do like jumping jacks and stuff and do their own little thing. Do you have your own kind of startup?
I mean, yeah, I like to do some stretches, but my dad has his like little track warm out, like what we do sometimes. Like we'll do the little A skips and little B skips and stuff like that. Yeah, and those are fun. Like more active stretching.
Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like seeing the more athletic approach coming into Onewheel racing and people taking it a little bit more seriously rather than it just being like a party. And
yeah,
it's definitely growing in that realm.
As more mature minds come into it. Yeah,
exactly. So let's rewind a little bit. Obviously, you're crushing it on the racing circuit. How did you get into Onewheel?
That's a tough one. So I think my friend Jonah, this one guy, his name was Tawny actually, and he was from Dubai, and he bought him a Onewheel, and he was like the first person in Kona to get the pint. And me and my cousin Adonijah were so jealous. We were like, oh man, Jonah's so sick. He gets to ride in his parking lot. And we ended up hopping on it. And then after that, like my dad and Logan were like, they told the guy Tawny, like, oh man, you got it for Jonah. Like, oh man, you got to get one for Addo and Fari. And after we got our pint, we were riding. And then, that's basically where it took off right there.
Dang. So was it like an instant click? You're like, this is.
That's it. Yeah. Like as soon as I hopped on the thing, I was like, man, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. Like it's super fun. Like I've never done anything like it before. So like, yeah, that was it for me.
And do you have like previous experience in board sports?
Not really. No.
Not even like surfing or anything growing up in Hawaii?
Yeah, I mean, like surfing, I would surf with my friends and stuff, but my dad and my uncle, like they don't really ride that much like in the water, and they don't go. We live in the mountains, so like, yeah, we don't get to the beach too often.
That's really interesting because there's a lot of one-wheelers that are up there that, like racers particularly, that do come from board sport background, like Kyle Hansen, skater, Tyler, James, surfer, Tahoe Dave does it all. So it's really cool to hear that like you straight up were just like one wheel.
Yeah.
Where would you say that a lot of your talent in one wheel comes from in terms of like balance and being able to just control yourself on the board?
I think like a lot of my mentality when I'm racing, like growing up, I never like lost and stuff like in soccer, and I like hated it like really bad, and I would do whatever I could to like not, because my grandma and my aunties would always like, man, Jahfari, you need to contain yourself when you lose. Like you can't beat yourself up so much. And then like I never really grew out of it too much growing up, so I just like I always had that like want to win like every single time, and like basically with anything I try. But yeah, with that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it definitely shows. I mean, I could tell like that you have this little spark in you once the race starts. You know, you go into that zone and you have that like, I'm gonna win, and nothing's gonna stop me.
But like I do get nervous sometimes still, but I mean, once I'm in that racing mode, I'm kind of in it. I'm in that zone. Like no one's gonna mess with my mind here. I'm just like, I'm going for it, going for the trail, going for the gold.
I love that. So other than one-wheeling, you just mentioned soccer.
Yeah.
So a big soccer player. Aside, would you say that's like your number one thing other than one-wheeling?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your position?
Striker and midfielder. Yeah.
You're fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to score goals.
Get the ball to you. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Definitely.
Do you feel like there's any translation between soccer and one-wheeling? I know it's like totally separate sides of the spectrum, but
I mean, like I know how to fall at very high speeds, so like I'm rolling it out every single time I fall. Even in soccer, like I'll get tripped running, and you'll see me run it out same type of falls I would have in one-wheeling.
That's actually a great point. Falling in general.
Yeah.
How important is it to know how to bail and fall, especially with something like one-wheeling?
Like, it's super important because, like, if you don't know how to fall, like, it's how you get hurt. So, like, honestly, like, running it out at a high speed and practicing that is, like, always good.
Would you say that, like, if that was would that be your one tip to somebody that's, because I always tell people, you know, when they're learning, don't ride faster than you can't run.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You hit a little rock, you hit a bump, you get bucked off your board. If you don't know how to handle that, then you shouldn't be riding that fast.
Yeah. So that definitely helped me, like getting tripped and stuff. Yeah. Definitely helped me to learn how to like fall better.
Yeah. So soccer, there's some translation there. Anything else that you do other than that?
Track and field, yeah, like the footwork and a lot of the quick twitch workouts and stuff definitely helped me with like even my foot placement. I feel like would be different if I didn't do sports. Like the way I ride and my stance and stuff is like very athletic compared to other riders I see. Like they look awkward and they look like they're gonna like if they hit anything, it looked like it would be like a very awkward fall or something.
Yeah, they're just stiff. They're stiff trees. You
Yeah.
gotta stay loose, and you gotta also be agile with that. Yeah, I'm very like technical when I watch people ride, or I'm very like, I analyze people's stance and style. And I know when somebody falls or they, land and they're a little bit too far back. It's like, there's ways to correct that stuff. So I definitely think having that background is huge for you.
Definitely.
So started on Pint,
Yeah.
then you went to XR, and now you just started riding GT.
Yeah, I've been riding the GT for like only a week now. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like definitely a big change. Still, I'm trying to ride it more than my XR so I can kind of have like a gradual, like just an easy switch. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely trying to learn how to ride my GT.
Is there anything that like with the extra torque or even the weight, are there things that you're noticing you got to kind of change your style up a little bit?
I like the extra torque because like the start is way faster. Like when I lean into it, my whole shot was way quicker. I saw in the extrusion race. Just the uphill clearance is the only thing I need to get used to. Yeah.
What is your favorite style of race?
Definitely head-on-head racing because I like to know how fast I'm going. And when I see someone else in front of me, it kind of pushes me to like, oh, man, he's going that fast, so I can go that fast. And it makes you kind of pick your line like, oh, can I pass here or can I pass there? But with the segmented racing, when you're just racing the clock, like you have no idea like how fast you're going, or you have no idea like what someone else did right there, or so that's why I like the head-on-head more.
I definitely think from an audience standpoint too, like as a spectator, it's obviously more entertaining to watch. But there's something about the segmented racing. Like I come from like a mountain bike background, and downhill mountain biking is all like timed.
Yep.
And there's like it's very interesting to just see them get to the bottom and they turn around and they see the time and they're like, oh.
Yep.
But yeah, it is totally different racing.
Yeah. Different mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. So going into, you're just coming out of DirtSurferz. I haven't been able to travel to any of these races. How did it go overall? What'd you think? What were your general thoughts? Some people that you're like, whoa.
I mean, at DirtSurferz, I feel like I could have done better in the segmented racing because, like, a lot of the people who won, like, didn't have any falls yet. And my time was still close to them, and I had 3 falls. So, I mean, I definitely think I could have done better. And, but it was definitely nice riding like those first like 2 days without the rain and stuff. But it started raining on the second day, and like the trails changed like very different. Like, and come to race day, I go to hit some of the trails, and like they're just totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the spots that I put in like notes in my mind, like, oh, I need to be careful right here, was just totally rutted or totally slippery. And like on trail 1, there's this spot where I was usually just like flying through, and there's this turn by the tree that had like this puddle next to it, and I like slid all the way into this tree, caught myself, and I had to like push myself back off the tree. And that had to be like a good like 3 seconds right there.
You were still on your board though?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I had 2 gnarly falls on 3 and 4. Yeah, and that was a real setback. My Oakleys fell off. Yeah, it was nuts.
Did you saved them though? You got
yeah, they were right by my one wheel, so I just grabbed them.
Good.
Yeah,
it's expensive. Expensive glasses. I lost my Oakleys at a Race for the Rail last year, and somebody snagged them. I don't know. If anybody grabbed my Oakleys out there, I'd like them back. So we're going into Seek and Shred in a couple weeks or so.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Yep. Super excited. That track last year, I was in first my heat, and the features took me out, actually. Yeah, I ate it on both of those features, and I got passed right at the finish line. I think it was Floating Joe. He got me. Man, that was tough. It was like by this much.
Dang. Well, yeah, we were talking about that at lunch, and it seems like they added those features, some of the features in a little last minute.
Yeah, a little last minute with the kicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that teeter-totter, I got to practice previously before, and I just way oversent it. Like people were going on it and then letting it go down, but all the pros were just launching it like a ramp. And when I did it, the thing didn't even go down at all. I just like fully just launched the whole thing. I don't know what I was doing.
Did you see the race with Tyler James almost got freaking decapitated by it?
Micah went on his, yeah. Oh, they tried to double up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
That was crazy.
Other than the racing at Seek and Shred, you know, it's a whole scene. It's the music, the community. What do you think about that whole, like, it's kind of a different event than any other one-wheel event that really goes on?
I mean, I love the racing aspect of it. I mean, I don't really party too much, but yeah, I like it as the race, definitely. But the loud music at night, like, some people love it, but I'm trying to sleep.
Right?
So.
I was telling Manuel that when he was here on the podcast, I was like, he called it the Festival Lullaby because I was by the creek. I'm trying to fall asleep at like 11:30, and all I just hear boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I put my headphones in.
Yep.
Like listen to some other soothing music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. We can hang out there.
Yeah.
Ride wheels.
For sure.
Growing up in Hawaii, I'm so curious about this. I grew up in the East Coast, on the East Coast. Went to school in Hawaii for a little bit, so I have a connection to the Big Island. But what was that like? Like, that's totally different than what I know.
I mean, I definitely grew up going to the beach a lot, like a lot more than people that are landlocked in the mainland. But I feel like I didn't get to do much of the Hawaiian things that the other Hawaiian kids did, like as far as like boogie boarding every day and stuff like that. I was more up in the rainforest and having fun up there, like in the banyan tree and stuff like that.
That's dope. In the banyan tree.
Yep.
What would you say were some of the highlights growing up in the rainforest?
It's super peaceful. Yeah, all the birds and stuff. We have the Hawaiian hawks that fly over our property all the time. And then, yeah, no people give us trouble because we're just up there. It's a nice 4-wheel drive road. And on my cousin's property, we have a nice one-wheel track over there that we go hit.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like growing up there kind of, I don't know, aided in like you're super down to earth, chill, especially for your age. Like I would think you were older than you are.
Yeah.
Right. You think just like that kind of aided in who you are and how you carry yourself?
My parents are very chill, and my cousins, we all just did the same things growing up, and like our parents were like raised us very well, and yeah, I think
Nice. Do you ever? And you say you travel to California a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a kid, I actually lived in Chico for like about like a half a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my dad did some work over there. I went to school at Blue Oak. It was pretty nice, and we went to California a lot actually. Yeah, growing up.
It's pretty awesome that your dad and you travel around a bunch. I think that's like just the one thing that I love about seeing parents and kids in the one-wheel community is like just the relationship bonding and growth that comes from being able to travel and ride wheels together.
Yeah, like I got to meet so many new people just from flying over to the races over here and stuff. Like Micah, he's such a cool kid and stuff.
Yeah, it's great. You make friends and it's like they're across the country or across the water. Like it's definitely something that, I mean, I've met so many awesome people, you guys, you know, people from all over the country that I would have never known otherwise. It's pretty dope.
Definitely. It's definitely one of those sports.
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like there's a few sports like that, but one-wheeling is definitely
has that whole community. As soon as you jump into it too, like as soon as you go to one race, you meet like so many new people, and then go to your next race, they know you even more. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't really compare it to anything else. I mean, I was around, I would say maybe like motorsports where people travel a lot, but even that, it's like, it didn't seem like people were that tight. And we were kind of mentioning it earlier. It's like you go to an event, and you're with like 200 of your friends.
Yeah.
It's like, what else?
You're just having fun the whole time.
Yeah. What other like product or thing can really garner that much love around the people and community?
And you could find a random person on the trail and go ride with them and have so fun. And then you're friends with them right after the trail.
Yeah. And then the power of social media, you're able to keep up with them and stuff like that.
So dope.
So other than, what races have gone on so far, you're totally eyeing Race for the Rail.
Yeah, that's my main picture.
Main picture. Is there anything specific that you're doing in your, let's say, like practicing and stuff, do you like watch tape at all of people racing from last year or this year? Do you like analyze stuff?
I mean, like the person I love to like ride behind right now, and like he blows my mind every single time I ride behind him, is Luke Austin. Like he's like, yeah, he's insane. He's insane with it. Like I followed him on the pro line at DirtSurferz, and he was just gone. Like it was my first time. I tried to hit it on my GT before I even had the new rails, and I was just going. And I think I fell on like two of the features. He was just lacing them without even slowing down. And I was like, what is this guy?
Yeah, and so he's
I watch him
from the Midwest too, which is like there's a nice core group of Midwest one-wheel riders that are really pushing it. I dig that because like for a while it's just kind of been California people.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like you get maybe you got Jeff Adair from Texas now, which is pretty cool. We're seeing more of a spread amongst the better top riders.
Yep.
And then of course Hawaii, which is like so awesome to see representation coming out of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And y'all just kill it,
So sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I get so excited whenever I see you at races because it's the new generation of one-wheel riders and racers. You are going to put yourselves into an area where it's like everything that happened before is kind of like it's exponential growth, And it just keeps getting better and faster and more interesting. And I feel like people like you, especially now that you can race at the pro level, you're gonna be an inspiration if you're not already to so many younger folks.
Yeah, and that's why it's always good to be a good influence, and that's why I'm always watching myself and like making sure I'm like being a good father, or not a father figure, but a figure to all these kids. Like that want to run and like want a one wheel and want to do everything for that. So definitely trying to set a good example.
That's amazing to hear because definitely, some people get inspired by lifestyle stuff or they want to be a little bit more edgy and you just like, you carry yourself really well. And, it's just like cool to see the last couple of years you grow and you're just like you really want to be that role model for people.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I wanted to chat a little bit about like getting into one wheel. You mentioned started on Pint and then kind of moved up the boards. What were some of the challenges that you first recognized learning one wheel, or did you just like naturally pick it up right away?
I mean, at first I started with the simple stop and I wouldn't turn it off for like, I think it was like a good 2 months or something. And, I was like, man, yeah, I like being able to stop. Like I don't like that lift up. And then once I turned that off though, I was like, wow, this is totally different. I can go both ways and all of that type of stuff. So we went to this place called South Point in Hawaii and we went and rode there. Yep. And I had my first crazy fall there. Yeah, I sacked my pint this way. Yeah, and it was so weird. So yeah, we're trying to race to the light post, and that's when I noticed, like, dang man, this thing really hurts to fall on. Like, that was kind of my first fall right there. And then after that, I was trying to learn about the wheel slips and how to do tricks and bonks and stuff. And my next thing was the bonk, yeah. And I couldn't do it for so long, and I was like, man. And then I finally got it, and then I started doing airs and stuff like that. And yeah, that was pretty much my first problem with it, though, trying to learn how to do some tricks and trying to learn how to do some cool stuff on it first.
But you didn't give up.
Yep, didn't give up. Yep.
What would you say to folks that, like, it's something I experience a lot, whether people are just learning or maybe they've been riding for a little bit and they get discouraged because they either fall or they feel like they're not picking it up as quick as they should? What would you say to those people given your experiences?
I mean, yeah, you just got to keep doing it. Like, falling's just a part of learning. Like, it's just the building blocks to getting good. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's kind of get back on that horse. You fall off,
exactly.
you get back on.
Yep.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Okay, well, let's do a little giveaway thing first. We'll do this early on in the podcast. So one of the things I've been trying to do is we give away stuff each podcast, just for the listeners. I think it's cool to get the audience to interact with it.
Yep.
So I put some stuff inside of this box, and maybe you can open it up, and we'll announce what we're giving away, and then how it will go is, what should we make? I'd like to prompt people, so they have to answer a question in the comments. What do you think we should ask them to answer?
Like a question about the Onewheel?
It could be about Onewheel, or like something like who do they think is going to win Race for the Rail this year, or something like that, or who's gonna take the overall points championship, or best place to ride in the United States.
Okay.
There's a right or wrong answer for some questions, but
who do you think is going to get Rider of the Year this year?
At Float Life Fest?
At Float Life Fest. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Answer this prompt. Who do you think is going to get Rider of the Year this year at Float Life Fest? That's a hard one. And because so much comes into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be a freestyle person, it could be a racer, it could be a really great community member, somebody that's innovating stuff. I don't know. All right. Answer that in the comments below, and you could possibly win. Let's check out what's in the box. Got some, looks like we have some accessories, some bumpers, and there's some rail guards in there as well. So we'll do...
It's a nice color.
Yeah. So what we'll do is answer the prompt in the comments, and you could win basically a board refresh, fresh bumpers, fresh rail guards, maybe even throw in some new apparel, like a beanie or something. I don't know. But answer the question in the prompts. Let us know. Make sure you're subscribed. You have to be subscribed to have a chance to win. Sweet. What do you find? I mean, probably for you, it's bumpers. What are you changing the most on your wheel? Is it like grip tape or pads? Or?
I actually need a new grip tape on my back pad on my XR. I think it's bald. It's crazy. On my pints, probably like bumpers and stuff. I am doing a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were saying earlier you love the pint.
Yeah, I love my pint, man. Yeah, I love to do tricks and stuff. Definitely can catch a lot more air. Like if you see at that last race in DirtSurferz, there's like this little trick comp spot, and I think I did like a nice like 7-foot air or something on my pint. Yeah.
Jeez.
And it was my first time bringing it out to a trick comp or anything like that. Super nice.
I have definitely, the pint has grown on me, especially we ride them around the office, and it's like you don't need range here. And I think I just love how light it is, and it kind of moves, like that lightness just helps it move around. And yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. I
like how small it is with the tire. You can like get that edge and keep it and just keep like turning. It's like super, super nimble.
Yeah, I grab it like a skateboard by the nose, and because it's so much lighter, I can just like pick it up.
Yep.
It kind of feels cool. I don't know.
It's definitely nice.
Yeah. So overall, you've mentioned for racing, you're really looking at Luke Austin. Who are some of the people you mentioned? Tahoe Dave. Who else would be like some of the folks that inspired you to kind of get more serious with racing and take it on, and you look up to them too?
Well, when I was younger, we went to Sacramento and rode with Bodie, and he was definitely a big influence with me too. Like, I was like, man, I want to be like Bodie, and I want to be like all of those guys. Like, I was striving to be like just like. I'm like, oh, I want to do that trick. I want to do everything that they're doing. And yeah, definitely Bodie Harrison. Yeah.
Bodie was a big one for me too, because I started riding one wheel like early 2009 or 2019. Sorry, when I started working here, and Bodie was like the one guy that was doing all the tricks, and he had that style.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, he's so smooth, and just
Definitely.
like watching him ride and analyzing how he flows. And I still want to be like you, Bodie.
Yep, definitely want to be like Bodie.
I don't know if I ever would be, but
Yep, it's pretty. He's pretty like he's his own guy. He's like on a different level. Whoa, that was a big voice crack.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yep.
It's all good. So where do you, in your own opinion, where do you see not only the future of one wheel racing? So we'll start with one wheel racing, and because that's kind of like a very big thing, but also just the future of one wheel in general. And let's start off with one wheel racing. I'll keep it. So where do you think like one wheel racing is going to go in the future?
I mean, I think it definitely has a future I think it's going to get big, but I don't think it's going to be in like the Olympics or something crazy like that, because it's the accessories and the market is a little bit different, like from stock car racing and stuff like that. Like, I feel like this is like more like mountain biking and stuff like that. So I can see it getting to like a X Games like extreme sport level, but I think there's definitely a future for it, and like if people catch on to it and if people keep watching it and see how entertaining it is and see how sweet of a sport it is, like yeah, I think it can definitely take off as like a big sport, like that can be viewed on Sports Center and stuff like that.
100%. I mean, even I was watching some like social media stories on Oak City Shred Fest. Mm-hmm. And to see like all the people around the finish line and stuff, like that wasn't happening a year or like 2 years, even a year ago. So seeing this, like, it's kind of just growing and growing and growing. I love that you said the X Games, because I kind of have this like thought in my mind that we're going to reach a point where they're always looking for new things to go in these competitions, and electric vehicles are going to take over eventually. Like, people are already riding electric dirt bikes, and I'm sure there's other things that are going to pop in. I mean, especially if you're seeing like Shibby Time hit those booters on EUC.
Exactly.
I have 100%, like, I totally believe One Wheels could be in the X Games. Like, not anytime soon, but like in the future, for sure.
Definitely. It's just one of those sweet things that people already in the X Games have tried the one wheel and like saw the capabilities. Like you said, like Kelly Schlater, like he enjoyed the one wheel. So, I mean, it's just a matter of some big person trying it and blowing it up.
Oh yeah. We've gotten, I mean, like Tony Hawk's ridden a wheel.
Yep.
Stacy Peralta, who's from like Dogtown and Z-Boys, old school. We've got, this guy up the coast, Jeff Clark, who's big wave surfing legend, rides his GT all over the place.
Wow.
So you have these people that are not still competing. You know, they were in the earlier generations of these sports that are realizing like, hey, this thing's actually pretty rad.
Yep.
And for me, I grew up skating. That was like my passion. I thought I was going to be a pro skater like every other kid. And I don't know. I love skateboarding, and I still like watch stuff on social media. But over time, there's only so many 360 flips you can watch, you know, downstairs and stuff, to where it's like, okay, with technology and with the innovation and all that stuff, like, I think, especially with the way that like tricks and stuff are going in one wheel, like could happen. Could totally happen. Yeah, a lot of big time names riding wheels.
Yeah.
And I always get comments on YouTube that are like, "Why don't you just ride a skateboard?" I was like, "It's different."
Yeah, like imagine if those people that rode skateboards and made it to the X Games, if they never rode a skateboard and they just rode a one wheel, and then like if they were that good on the one wheel, then it would have blew up. But that's the thing. Like the people are trying to blow it up, but when people ride them, like people that already are good at something, that's what they're known for already. So it's not like a new person bringing a new thing. It's more of a person that was already good at something trying this thing because it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's this like weird thing where people think it's separate and you could either only do one or the other.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just like, it's totally different. Like if I'm going to go to the street corner and buy a burrito, I'm going to ride my one wheel.
Yeah.
I will probably ride my one wheel over a skateboard any day now, just because it's like, I'm older. I don't really want to push. But I still love like in the parking lot every once in a while, I'll bust out the skateboard and like do a couple manuals or like try to work on my kick flips and pretend I still have it. But there's just nothing like cruising and carving around on the wheel.
Definitely. There's that certain feel, and it's so satisfying too. Like you look forward to riding your one wheel. Like I can't, like when I wake up, I'm like, man, I'm going to get to the shop and I'm going to ride my one wheel and do my homeschool, and I'm just going to be having fun all day. Like everyone else is just going to be at school just suffering. But yeah, I get to ride my one wheel all day.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. You look forward to riding it, whereas like some things are a chore.
Yeah.
Like even a big bike rider, I choose the one wheel over the bike because I don't want to pedal.
Yep.
Right? And it's just so nice to get in that flow state and carve.
Definitely.
There's really nothing like it.
Yeah.
I would say. Well, I think we've got a good conversation going on. Any other thoughts or philosophies from Jahfari on life or one wheeling in general?
I think you guys should definitely take your one wheels on trails if you haven't, because that opens up a whole different mindset. Like if you're just riding your one wheel from point A to point B, like definitely go take it on some trails. Even if it's just like a little nice off-road ride, like definitely do that. And yeah, I love to do that. And philosophies, that's a tough one.
It's deep.
Yeah. Well, just live life to the fullest. Yeah. Just that's what I'm saying. Ride your one wheel, basically. Just get a one wheel and ride it.
Nice.
Change your life.
Right on, dude. Well, super. I appreciate you even just being open to come and having a chat, talking to you about racing, a little bit about life. I'm going to be following you for the rest of the summer, seeing how you do and really rooting you on because you're crushing it. You have great attitude about everything. Great role model for everybody of all ages. So I think everybody's rooting you on.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll see you at Seek and Shred.
You'll
be super stoked.
Yeah,
all right, folks.
It's going to be awesome.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Shred on, folks.
Bro, I was way too nervous, bro.